What's up, baby doll? So I am replying to my friend Adzi, but it's actually so important I'm going to share it with all of you. BitcoinTreasuries.net. Remember, it shows you all these companies who have Bitcoin on their balance sheet. The spear you want to look at is MicroStrategy, okay? So MicroStrategy is Michael Chad Saylor. If you clicky, you scroll down, you see this NAV multiple. Wow. It's down to 1.59. So what that means is if it's exactly 1.00, it means that the Bitcoin on MicroStrategy's balance sheet, the Bitcoin is worth as much as the Bitcoin market price. It used to be 3x. So pretty much when Bitcoin was 100K, if you bought MicroStrategy, you're buying it at $300,000. Now, you might say, why would people do that? 1, FOMO. 2, belief. 3, greed. 4, following each other in the trend. But 5 as well, it's because they believe MicroStrategy or any other company has a special aura where they can borrow and buy even more money and generate yield on their Bitcoin and generate even more Bitcoin. I'll tell you right now, 95% of them won't be able to do that because basically they're just altcoins. So I already tell you now, if 95% of altcoins absolutely end up going to poopy land, I'm going to say the Bitcoin treasury companies aren't going to be able to outperform Bitcoin. I'm just going to take that shot, right? And it makes sense, by the way, because they have companies, friends. Like altcoins, you don't have to pay people salaries and stuff. You know what I mean? You can live like a hermit. But with these stock companies, you've got to pay an accountant and a lawyer. The HR girl wants to get a new boob job. You got to upgrade the water bubbler. You know what I mean? Like there's actual costs for the company. They're forced to sell. So it's like even worse odds than altcoins because there's actual regulation stuff. Now this number of NAV, it's down to 1.59. So in 2021, Grayscale had their Bitcoin ETF thing. It was an ETN, it was equivalent, right? It traded at a 25% premium above Bitcoin. But then as the bull market started in Jan 2021, it went from 25% down to 0. And then it traded negative. And then never went positive ever again. Okay? So I'm watching this. This is down to 1.59. It's kind of funny. And this used to be 3. Then it went down to 2.5, and then 2, and then 1.8, and then 1.7. And now it's down to 1.59. And, you know, so if it repeats like Grayscale, friends, let's just show you Grayscale, Bitcoin discount premium. What I'm now going to show you is if we actually go to Google Maps, Grayscale, yeah, you can't look at the chart anymore because they converted it to an ETF. So you have to look at the historical one. But you can see it here, right? Actually, let's get closer, friends, in a very family-friendly way, but not too close, okay? You see here, this is where January 2021 is. And this one, I believe, is July. Yeah, this is July 2021. So what we'll do is let's go to a bit family-friendly. Let's zoom in a bit. Right here. Here we go. There's a bit of racism. There we go. Okay, here we go. So we're checking this out. Here's January. So we basically run into the start of the year of January 2021, and the premium's 25%. Okay, which means when Bitcoin was, I think it was 28,000 in January 2021. So basically, if you bought that Grayscale, which is Barry Schilbert's Grayscale BTC, you were paying a 25% premium on the $28,000 Bitcoin. So you bought, a $35,000 BTC. And you might say, why would people do that? They don't know how to get into crypto. They don't take the time like you to go out there, sniff a couple of chairs, you know, buy some flowers from some strangers, help the old lady cross the street. Just basically do what real crypto things involve, like checking out the exchange, learning what a wallet is, just spending your time to like have your own custody. You know, because these people are lazy, they pay a giant premium. Because what happens is, right, they get like excited by the marketing. So as soon as they get excited by the marketing, the first thing they do is they pretty much want to go straight away. They want to go act, right? And they just want to go buy something. But you notice what happens is as we move into the year, so January, maybe this is like, maybe February, it turns 0. Do you understand? And then it goes negative. And that's pretty much it. Once it crossed here, If we check it out, friends, I believe the bull market was over here. Wow. So you only had just a few months left, 2 to 3 months, and it was pretty much over, you know? That's why, like, look, here's the thing. You might say, but Sommi, like, why are you correlating, say, the Grayscale Bitcoin discount to MicroStrategy? And I'm just guessing. The NAV of MicroStrategy is 1.59 now. It's just one of those extra things to watch because they might all star align together. That's why I think it's important just to check it out, because you never really know, friends, because we're just going to be seeing these Bitcoin prices tick up and down. We don't know what the hell is going on. You know what I mean? Like you don't know, like, where's the top going to be? Is it going to be 150? Are we at the top? Is it 200? Can we go to 240? Is it going to stop at 150, fake out, come back down, then break up the high next week? There's 1,000 other scenarios that can happen. But, you know, if you look at what I saw, remember my exotic top signal list, there's a few things that I've got my nostrils out for, you know? That's why I've written them here. Okay, like, for example, Bitcoin self-banning from stocks, US Congress, Ty Lopez, Jim Cramer getting bullish, Coinbase App Store ranking, and meme coin hitting 100 billion market cap. Remember, Doge hit 90 billion in 2021, you know? So I hope we see that one, right? A public ICO raising 1 billion. I mean, like, that's wild. Friends, you saw PumpFun raised 600 million in like 10 minutes. Yeah. And of course, that was exit liquidity, top signal stuff, and now they're all offside. But I'm just like, man, Bitcoin's only 120K. Friends, Ethereum's only like when PumpFun did it, Ethereum was only like 3,400. Like, we'll probably do $1 billion raises very fast and aggressive. Even Meth is up to like 7,000 or 10,000. We'll see. You know, also have, maybe there'd be a NASDAQ launching a crypto index. That'll be giant. And here I have as well, MicroStrategy's NAV turning negative. So what I want to do is, I'm just looking at this stuff, because once I said, you're sniffing a lot of chairs, you're going around, you're just trying to see, like, you know, are a lot of these things pinging, because you're never 100% certain. It's just that, like you don't want to be thinking, oh, I have 100% risk on altcoins and I need global liquidity to keep rising and the US economy to keep ticking forever and ever. You don't want to get to that point. That's the most important part. So yeah, ultimately, friends, these signals, right? I mean, like, when I make these, just take it with a grain of salt as well, you know? I just want to remind you of something. Do you remember, friends, Puzu? Now, Puzu was from the founder of 3 Arrows Capital. Remember, Puzu, it's kind of funny how they describe it. They fumbled billions of dollars. The thing is, something about him, there's one tweet he made, I'll never forget it, all right? Throughout the end of the last cycle, so remember, 3 Arrows Capital, they were turbo leveraged long, and then they needed Ethereum to stay up. And what ended up happening was the market started going down. They were turbo leveraged long. They borrowed money of everyone, and they had to sell the bottom of Ethereum when it went down there. I'll show you the Ethereum price chart where they pretty much had to get out. Now, there's one story about them that I'm just like, I was here, right? It was kind of like, wow. So this is them selling all the way down that Ethereum when it went down to like here, below $1,000. I think it was somewhere here. Someone was talking to him, hey, aren't you worried there's a lot of like top signals and stuff? And what he said was, he goes, yeah, he was like Puzu. He said, like, he goes, you know what, for what it's worth, a lot of my top signals have been hit of out there, right? He never said what they were, because a lot of my top signals have been hit, but pretty much I think he implied like the prices just weren't high enough. Yeah, he didn't say it like that, but that's what I like inferred from it. And I was sitting there and I was like, oh, wow, what top signals? I never heard of these top signals, but because he's been around since 2013, he became like a billionaire, obviously lost it all. When you just hear a lot, it's what I gave you. Do you know my exotic top signal list? It's like really esoteric special stuff like that. You know, and you know, you take it with a grain of salt. I don't know if it's going to work, but if it does work, you can tip me on Ethereum, hopefully. And hopefully Ethereum isn't $1, then it's like 10 grand plus, okay? So you don't have that feeling any pressure, friends. I don't want anything from you. If it ends up working out, we're going to confirm friendship, you know? Now, he's still to this day, he never talked about any of his top signals. But just, I want you to think about that, right? So the signals hit, but he never got out. And he had it on his list, you know? And it was all because of the price. It wasn't high enough. Like in his mind, he thought, you know, Ethereum's worth $1 trillion of asset. Ethereum only hit 4,950. That's like 600 billion or whatever market cap. And he's thinking in his mind, he goes, this is $1 trillion asset, bro. We made Chainlink, we made Uniswap, we made Curve, we made stable coins. Like it's worth $1 trillion, right? And it never hit there. And then it all kabooshed. You get it? So that's why I teach you. We have these exotic top signals, but they have to be separate to the price. Yeah, even though I pray that we do get crypto to 10 trillion. I pray we do get there. Yeah, I pray we do get this 10 trillion, but we don't have to. You get it? We could go higher. I hope we get higher, but that's actually the most important part. The most important part wasn't the prices. It was those qualitative, spooky magic top signal stuff. Okay, that was the stuff, because that's a true representation of people's emotions, and you don't know when it's going to appear. You know, so I hope you learned a lot, friends. We're going to watch like that Bitcoin treasuries, MicroStrategy's NAV, and you know, it's funny. You know, no one believes it can go below 1. No one. I'm not joking. Go ask them. They don't believe it can go below 1. We'll see. Like, subscribe. Catch you soon.